Question 4. Solve for x is between 0 and 720 degrees, 4 sine squared x plus 9 cos x, take away 6 equals 0, given your answers to one decimal place. So I'm going to highlight the mathematical knowledge we need. So we need the equation. I'm going to highlight the instructions. So it wants our answers to one decimal place, and it wants answers between 0 and 70 degrees. In particular, this is a question that's in degrees. Okay, so our key knowledge, just looking at this question, I can see a sine squared x. So my first key knowledge must be what is sine squared x, what does it actually mean? And sine squared x means sine x squared. We're just lazy, we don't write brackets. Okay, I've also got a sine squared x, so I've got an equation, or an identity rather. Sine squared x plus cos squared x is always equal to 1, which I can easily rearrange very quickly to get sine squared x is always equal to 1, take away cos squared x. Okay, so for the minute, that's the only key knowledge we're going to need. We will get some more key knowledge as we go through the question. So my equation is 4 sine squared x plus 9 cos x, take away 6 is 0. So my goal is to get everything in terms of the same trig ratio, so either sine x or cos x. So I need to think, how can I change one of them? Now cos x, I can't really change cos x into a sine x easily. However, sine squared x, I've got an identity up in the top corner, which lets me rewrite it as 1 minus cos squared x, which therefore will turn the whole equation into just cos x's. So let's have a go at doing that. So I'm just going to sub in, instead of sine squared x, I'm going to put 1 minus cos squared x plus 9 cos x minus 6 is 0. I put brackets there to remind me to expand it. So 4 minus 4 cos squared x plus 9 cos x, take away 6 is 0. And I'm going to rearrange it to make it look like a quadratic one we're used to. So I'm going to plus the 4 cos squared x to make it a positive on the other side. I'm going to take away 9 cos x from both sides. I'm going to take away 4 from both sides and plus 6 to both sides. So that'll leave me with a plus 2. And that's equal to 0. So you might spot that that's just a quadratic, and you might be able to factorize it and stuff straight away. Or you might want to make it explicit by saying that y equals cos x. So therefore 4 cos squared x is 4y squared. Take away 9y plus 2 is equal to 0. Then we'll just use our calculator to solve that. So we would get y equals 2 or y equals a quarter. However, there's no y's in the question, so I need to change back to x's. So cos x equals 2 and cos x equals a quarter. So to help me explain the next bit, I'm going to sketch the cos graph. I'm going to do it from 0 to 720. So I'm going to do my best. Remember, I'm a math teacher, not an artist. Don't judge my drawings. That's not too bad. And we know that the maximum cos can be is 1 and the minimum is minus 1. It goes between 1 and minus 1. So if I try to draw the line y equals 2 and the line y equals a quarter, so somewhere there, you can see very quickly that y equals 2 doesn't have any intersections with the graph. So cos x equals 2 doesn't have any intersections, so no solutions. And that's because cos x is always less than or equal to 1 and bigger than or equal to minus 1. Whereas the other one, the quarter, that has 4 intersections. Okay, I'm just going to label the key points, which you should know. So that's 90. This bit there's 180, 270. This bit where it hits the top is 360. This is 450. This bit down here is 540. This is 630. This bit back at the top will be my 720. Okay, now cos isn't a one-to-one function, so doing the inverse won't just give me the answers. It'll give me one answer, but that's it. So when we do the inverse of cos, it gives me an answer on this stretch here. So it'll give me that one that's less than 90. So if on my calculator I do arc cos, so inverse cos of a quarter to get my first answer, that'll give me 75.52. I'll do the rounding later on. So that's got this answer here. So to get the next one, you might be able to spot that this distance here is 75.25. So to get the next answer, which is over here, I can just take that distance away from 360. Yeah, and that'll get me that answer. Or you might like to do what we did in lessons, where we kind of think of getting the answers on the same cycle. So this cycle here would be on the negative side, and it's the same distance. So that answer there would be negative 75.52. And this answer was, let's label them 75.52. So another answer, minus 75.52. Now, that one's not in the range. This one is, because remember it's between 0 and 720. So to get the next two, so to get these two here, to get from one cycle to the next, I can just add 360, because that's how often the cos graph repeats itself. So I would do 75.52 plus 360, which would give me 435.52, and I can do negative 75.52 add 360 to give me 284.48, and they're both in my region. Now there's one more to get over here. Now to get this one, it's just this point here, which was, let's label these as well, 284.48. This one here was 435.52. So to get this point here, it's just this one added onto 360. So to get the last point within my range, I would do the 284.48 added onto 360, which gives us 644.48. And again, that's in the range. Now, I could keep adding on 360s and get multiple answers and get an infinite number of answers, which would work, but I only want the answers that's inside the range 0 to 720, because that's what the question said. And the question told me there's 4 answers, and I've got 4 answers. So all I need to do now is just round them to one decimal place. So that first one, x would be 75.5 degrees. And the next one will be 284.5. Doesn't matter what order, it's just a bit neater if you do it in numerical order. So 435.5 degrees and 644.5 degrees. Okay, now let's talk about where the marks come from for this one. So you get 1 mark for subbing in 1 minus cos squared x into the quadratic, and then you get 1 mark for getting the correct quadratic, and then 1 mark for solving the quadratic and getting only one answer, which is a quarter. We'll then give you a 4th mark for getting the first answer, for doing inverse cos and getting 75.5. We'll give you 1 more mark for getting 1 more correct answer, or or getting, one more mark for getting the correct answer, and then your final mark for getting all 4 answers.